What are you thankful for this year?
Our family getting together.
Yeah.
It's been a rough year with everybody being sick, so it's nice that we can all gather here. So we're excited.
Obviously, I'm just thankful to be here. I'm thankful for the friends I've met, family that I have back at home. Just overall, it's a good day. It's a good year.
So yeah, I'm from Powell, and this is my first Thanksgiving in America, and I'm thankful for the international program, my adoption family, Tweet and Tigers.
In 2014, I left my hometown of Albuquerque for a small town in North Dakota. That's where my career in community journalism began. While I've lived in several places since, my mom remained in Albuquerque. To stay connected on Thanksgiving and Christmas, she and I would use teleconferencing. We got really good at Zoom meetings long before COVID. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, Kevin.
How's it going?
Church was just beautiful, and I've got my wine. I'm ready to celebrate.
Awesome. Of course, Skype, Zoom, and FaceTime don't entirely replace a warm hug and the joy of being with family at the dinner table, but winter travel is such a hassle, especially in the climates I've lived in. So my mom and I make do at the holidays, and I go and see her in the summer. In 2019, I took a job at the Powell Tribune. When Thanksgiving rolled around, I learned the friendly folks here in Powell put together a community meal. I was told a lot of people go to it, and I thought it might be a nice change to have Thanksgiving with friends. I pictured a few dozen people enjoying a meal together. My estimation was off by a factor of at least 6. In fact, several hundred people come together for this event. One church takes on the organizing, and they trade off the responsibility every few years. Then dozens of volunteers from all over the community get together to cook and serve more than a dozen turkeys, mountains of potatoes, a few dozen pies, and enough stuffing to fill a stadium. Donations and help are always welcome, but the meal is free and open to anyone who just wants to spend the holiday with others.
Well, I think originally, so in the early 90s, Carol Wiesen, who was a teacher at Parkside School, and I and a couple others really felt that there were, especially at that particular time, there were college students that didn't have anywhere to go, that were being asked to leave the dorms for a couple days, and obviously wouldn't be with family. We said, well, wouldn't it be interesting to provide a meal where we could interact with them and support them and to be a family for them? So that was actually how it was birthed. This might have been in 92 or 93. And we met in the basement of the United Methodist Church. It did flow out of really just a general belief that we need to consider and love our neighbors.
We never know how many people are going to volunteer. In the past, we've had more than enough volunteers.
We had volunteers from Cook City the last time.
Where's Cook City?
Cook City.
Up by, you go up Chief Joseph right at the park. It's the northeast entrance to the park.
Okay.
So in the wintertime, it's a trip. Some families have done this for more years than we've been involved, and they look at it as their a family activity. They want their kids to get the idea of helping other people. And so we have some folks that have done this, even though they don't belong to our church. They started years ago, and they keep doing it.
Our community has lots of people who are either suffering from illness, or they're shut in, or they're elderly, or they're just alone and have no one to take them to the Thanksgiving dinner. So we love to, we box up meals and we drive them out, and we take them to all the people who cannot make it to the Thanksgiving dinner.
And how many people do you think you'll be delivering to this year? Do you even know at this point?
I would say 150 to 200.
Yes, it the number has grown over the years, but yeah, it should be about 150 to 200.
There is an emphasis that we want people to understand what motivates or prompts us to love our neighbors. It's a love we have in Christ, and so that's the foundational principle. But now it's just we seek to serve people that may be missing family. That it's not. There has been a stereotype like it's just for people who have a need, like they can't afford a meal, Well, and that's wonderful. If that's what we're serving, then that would be wonderful. But we really would want it to encompass more than it has. Really, if your family's out of town and you would like to have a meal with other people and have an interaction, then we would want you to come. And because we really are interested in caring for people socially as well. That they have interaction, relationships. A lot of times, because we're so fragmented as a culture, those relationships are hard to maintain. And so, the meal has drawn a lot of diversity and has served people kind of where they're at. And some of them need a meal, some need fellowship and family and just interaction. So we're delighted that we can be a part of caring for people at whatever level they have a need.
We see this as an outreach, outgrowth of the love that God has shown us. And so we share that with our neighbors.
In 2020, the COVID pandemic spread across the world and ripped our nation apart. The pandemic and all the craziness surrounding it really highlighted some stark divisions in America. There's a lot of talk of tolerance, but it's hard to see much of that going on. The people of Powell certainly share a lot of the same political and religious beliefs, but not entirely. There are a number of churches with very different perspectives on the Bible and a lot of disagreement over local issues. Yet there is a lot of cohesion. For all we might not agree on, all of us, or almost all of us, place a high value on compassion, charity, forgiveness, and tolerance. It's these values that bind this community, and the annual community meal is a reflection of all that which we treasure in this little community of ours. I think if people across this great country concern themselves more on the values they share rather than the politics they don't, we could finally heal from 2020. Let's hope that day comes. For now, I'm just thankful I live in Powell. Happy holidays, everyone.